Hello my friend, are you ready for Europe League predictions matchday number 4? Then let's go! Before we start, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to this channel that you don't miss any of my picks. Thanks for your support, buddy. Our first game is Bodo Glimp from Norway versus Karabakh from Azerbaijan, and both are number 1 in their leagues at the moment, but Karabakh lost all their 3 matches so far, while Bodo Glimp has no loss so far. Sure, that's the reason that Bodo Glimp is the favorite with very low odds, and as well they are the home team, which gives them a little bit of home advantage. And this should be correct, as you can see that the Norwegian team had a win against Porto in their first home game in the Europe League this year. So make it short, a win for Bodo Glimp, but as the odds are so low, I don't bet on it, and I would recommend not to do it. What about the German surprising team Frankfurt hosting Slavia Prague? Both are doing okay so far in the league. Only one away loss for Praha and 2 wins and 1 draw for Frankfurt, but the other draw was against the other Czech team, Viktoria Pilsen, which is behind Prague in the Czech league. So maybe if Frankfurt wasn't able to beat Pilsen, it's also getting hard for them to beat Slavia Prague. But Frankfurt is in a hot streak at the moment, winning 4 out of their last 5 games. Or even not losing 4 games, as they had a loss against champion Leverkusen. But recently were beating Bochum with 7 goals. To make it comparable, let's have a look at their shots in average per game in all competitions and the goals they scored and conceded. And there you can see that the Czech defense is pretty good, only conceded 10 goals in 20 games. And Frankfurt attack is pretty good with more than 2.5 goals in 14 games average. And sure, the Czech team scored 39 goals in 20 games, which is not bad, but you have to consider that they are playing in the Czech league mostly, and this league is kind of below the German league. And my name is Radek because I'm very into Czech football, and that's why I think it's gonna be pretty hard for Prague in Frankfurt. They will focus on defense so that they won't end up with a lot of goals conceded, and the best you can hope is a draw, but at the end Frankfurt should win this game. 1.8 is too low for me to bet. First, a really interesting game for me because I like games where the odds of both teams are above 2, and here we have Midtjylland at FC Steaua Bucharest from Romania. Both teams can be confident about their first games in the Europe League because both had 2 winners out of 3 games. But if we look at these games, we see that Midtjylland is way more active if it comes to shooting and scoring than the home team is, because Bucharest needs 10 shots to make 5 goals, which is effective, but at the end, the more you shoot, the more you score. And also Midtjylland defended better because they blocked a lot of shots. That's why they only conceded 0.33 goals in 3 games, only 1 goal, and this was against Hoffenheim in the extra time. I like the Danish team and I was betting on them playing against Hoffenheim, and as I said, the equalizer of Hoffenheim was in the extra time. Otherwise Midtjylland would have won all 3 games. That's why I think they're favorite in this game. Not only with 2.35 but even more. And if I have a look at these odds, I would say Asian Handicap 0 on Midtjylland is my bet here, as we might get odds of 1.7 for that. Another interesting game is Galatasaray versus Tottenham Hotspurs, an English team is not favorite against the Turkish team. That's very interesting, and let's have a close look. Tottenham only conceded 1 goal in the away game at Ferencváros at Hungary and won all 3 games, and Galatasaray also didn't lose a game but had a draw at Riga in Latvia. Also, Tottenham had to play the better teams with the Dutch team Alkmaar and maybe Azerbaijanian team Karabakh is not really worth it. But as you can see, if you leave points at Latvia, how dare you to be favorite against a team like Tottenham? This doesn't make a lot of sense for me, but if we have a look at all games played of these teams so far in the season, we see that Galatasaray is a bit more active and shooting 18 times on the goal, and that will be kind of tougher against an English team as against Turkish teams in the league. So the advantage of Tottenham, we can see here that they only conceded below 1 goal a game, and that's hard for Galatasaray to score in this game. On the other side, we sure know that Tottenham knows where the goal is, and that's why I don't think really that the home team is the favorite here. A nice situation betting on the away team with Asian Handicap 0, draw no bet again. So if there's a draw, we get the money back. If Tottenham wins, we get odds around 2.0, which is brilliant. Elfsborg versus Braga, what do you say in this game? I don't like the odds and I don't know a lot about the teams, so we just can have a look at the stats. The streaks of both teams speak for the away team, as they had 67% wins in the last 6 games, winning 4 games, while Elfsborg in Swedish league only 7th, lost 4 games out of 6. And in the Europa League they had both to walk through the qualification rounds, and in the last 6 games, yeah, Braga was a little bit better. In comparison, the Portuguese league should also be have more quality than the Swedish league, and as the Swedish league starts earlier in the year to avoid the winter break in the north, they have more games so far played, which might also not be a huge advantage. And that's why we have to look at the average shots and average goals per game. And here you can see also Braga had the better defense a bit, and Elfsborg likes to score goals. But Braga has more shots and more blocks, and that's why I tend to the Portuguese team. Which is no surprise because the odds are very low for them with 2.0, and I would say it's not really worth to bet on it. Ludogorets in Bulgaria is hosting Athletic Bilbao from Spain, and number 6th in the Spanish league is favorite with odds of 1.9, which seems to be legit, no matter that Ludogorets is the first in Bulgarian league. 3 games, no win for Ludogorets against Anderlecht, Pilsen and Slavia Prague. On the other side, really impressive results of Bilbao against good teams like Alkmaar and a point at Roma. Sure thing, Athletic Bilbao has to win this game. 77% of the people also think that. It's 1.9 for that. For me personally, too small, not into my strategy, but yeah, for sure a bit of value, but anyway, I don't bet on it. Nice against Twente Enschede from Holland. And the French team is favorite, no big surprise. Does the Dutch team have any chance? Both didn't do so well so far. That are 2 little surprisings, because Nizza is number 5 in the French league, and Twente Enschede is number 5 in the Dutch league. But they are not really on a good streak, as you can see. They only had 2 winners out of their last 6 games both. Because of the home advantage and the better quality of the French league, Nizza or Nice is favorite in this game. Hard for me to pronounce it as a German Czech speaker. We call it Nizza. But anyway, they should win this home game, but there's absolutely no value in this game, I think. Olympiacos in Greece against the Glasgow Rangers. Very interesting that the Rangers are the underdog here. Both have 2 victories out of 3 Europa League games, and the Rangers were beating Steaua Bucharest from Romania with 4-0 on the last recent game day, and had a winner against Malmö from Sweden in the first round. Olympiacos also was able to beat Malmö at Sweden, but the Rangers were more successful with scoring 1 goal more. Olympiacos for sure made a statement win in their home stadium, which is very crowded, and they have very engaged supporters. So winning against Braga at home is kind of a statement win, and the Rangers should be aware of that. Also, the home team has a better defense, and so the defense might end up the decisive one in this game. But anyway, I don't think that they are the huge favorite here, and in this situation I like the odds on the underdog mostly more, and I would say betting on double chance Rangers has odds of 2.5 around, or Asian Handicap 0 on the Rangers has around 3. I would prefer that over the home win. Sure, there also can be a draw, but the odds on the away team are way higher in comparison to the probabilities, which are 30-30-30 or 30-30 39.999. Union Saint-Gillois from Belgium against Roma from Italy, and I don't get odds of 2.5 for this team. Because let's have a look at their squad. They have the best La Liga scorer, the Ukrainian Artem Dovbyk, scored 24 goals in the recent Spanish season for Girona and was traded to Rome. Okay, and behind he has Paulo Dybala, one of the best players in the world few years ago, but still on fire, and Lorenzo Pellegrini. And also in the defense, they have the German Mats Hummels, who still is a really good player. And all in all, you find a lot more international top players at Rome than you can find at the Belgium team. But sure, there are reasons for these odds. Maybe because the Italian team was only able to win 2 out of their last 6 games, right? And only 1 game in the international competitions so far. But on the other hand, you don't have to be in danger against this Belgium team, as they had not very impressive results against not very impressive opponents. Maybe it's because Roma was struggling a lot in their last 6 away games, not winning one of them. But hey, the Belgian team is also not very dominant. And they not even scored 1 goal in average in their 19 games. And so we shouldn't expect a lot of goals according to these stats. But at the end, I see a lot of value on a really good Italian squad, which is not really in great shape at the moment, but also the home team is not, and the quality of Rome should be much higher, and the odds for that are pure value, and also 70% of the people think Rome gonna win this game. And we don't have to win them the game, because I ensure a draw, and betting on draw no bet or Asian Handicap 0 on Rome has odds of 1.8 or even 1.9, and this makes it for me kind of a sure bet, because that Rome is losing at a very weak Belgian team, the probability is really low, and for sure you can lose this, but at all facts we've had a look at it now, I think this is a great bet. And if you only bet on bets like this with odds like this, at the end you end up with profit. Not worth considering a game like Ajax against Tel Aviv, where we have a huge favorite, which is a huge favorite. I won't bet on this, as well as we saw a lot of surprisings, and there will always be surprisings, and mostly there is not a lot of value in the small bets on home favorites. But if the odds on home teams are that high, we have to consider twice, as we have a Dutch team here at home with Alkmaar against a Turkish team like Fenerbahce. Fener is number 3 in the Turkish league, but has not lost a game so far in the European competition, as Alkmaar has 2 losses. And the Dutch are also struggling in their league and couldn't win 1 out of their last 6 games. So now I understand why they are not the favorite here. But it looks a bit better in their home records, as they were able to win 3 out of their last 6 home matches, only losing 2 games, and this was against PSV Eindhoven, which is a Champions League team. On the other hand, Fener has not lost a home game in their last 6 attempts. And they made more out of their situations, as they needed only 8 shots to score 3 goals, while Alkmaar scored the same amount of goals but needed 10 shots for that. On the other hand, Alkmaar had more blocks, defending a bit better than the Turkish team, as they had not that many shots on their goal. I tend not to be too optimistic in each or the other side. That's why for me the best thing here is to bet on the highest odds, and we have a draw with 3.3, which is not awesome but okay, and I would bet 1/3 of a unit on the highest odds with the also highest probability, and I think that's better than try to find a winner in this game, which the Turkish people for sure see in their team, which is kind of obvious. And that's why also not wrong betting on Asian Handicap 0 on the away team. Kyiv from Ukraine against Ferencváros from Hungary, and the away team is the underdog here, and that's why I'm a bit skeptical, and we might find value on this side. Because you can see both didn't do that well so far, and the 3 games of Kyiv were not good at all, because they lost all 3 games. But to defend them, they had to play against really good opponents, like the both Rome teams, Lazio and Roma, and the German Hoffenheim squad, which is not at the peak at the moment. Anyway, not bad results. But on the other hand, we also have really good results of Ferencváros, because it was a kind of a surprise that they were able to beat Nice 1-0 and also score a goal against Tottenham. So this can be a close, interesting game. Maybe also with a little bit of advantage of the away team. As you can see, they have a really good defense if it comes to blocking, but they shouldn't have to block a lot of the shots of Dynamo, as they have way less shots on goals. At the end, they make way more out of their chances, as they score more goals as Ferencváros, which is a a factor of quality, but I like the attempts of Ferencváros. I like their results in the past, and that's why I don't think that they have to be the underdog. And as we have higher odds on the away team here, I also would say betting on a draw with 1/3 of a unit might be the best option here, and also Asian Handicap 0 on the away team is the other possibility. And this is one of the most interesting games because of the clubs. We have Italian Lazio Roma against the Portuguese Porto, which is known mostly because they're playing Champions League. Now they are in the Europa League and they're not really doing great in this season, as they only were able to win 1 out of their 3 games, and this was the last game against Hoffenheim at home. Away, they had, as we've seen before, the loser in Norway against Glimp. And on the other side, the Italians are number 1 in the whole league so far with 3 wins out of 3 games, only conceding 1 goal, but scoring 3 goals against Kyiv, 4 against Nice, and twice at the Dutch team Twente. Both are kind of doing great in their leagues and had good results recently, as Porto only lost to Sporting, but Sporting away is really hard to play, and you can ask Pep Guardiola. But for sure Porto has the potential to make an impact and be a danger to Lazio, as they were able to score 39 goals out of their 15 games and conceded less than Lazio. For sure the Portuguese league is not that good than the Italian one, but still Porto is a dangerous team which is never underdog in this Europe competition. Would I bet on them? Also not really sure, because I accept the good results of Lazio in the league and also in the international competition. That's why betting against Lazio is not a real option here. Betting on Lazio can be an option as we move closer to the game and have a bit of more information. At the moment I would say undecisive, and also 1/3 of a unit on a draw, which does not mean that I have no clue. Maybe a little bit of that, but most of the time it's the best just not to bet, or bet on the highest odds if the outcomes seem to be equal. Manchester United in their last game with Ruud van Nistelrooy in the Europa League. Then the Portuguese Amorim from Sporting Lisbon is the new coach, and Erik ten Hag was sacked, and now Ruud van Nistelrooy is on the bench, and with him they should for sure win this home game. The odds are way below interesting, and that's why we move on to the next, which is the Latvian team against Anderlecht from Belgium. And Riga was able to make a close game against Frankfurt in the last round, which was a kind of a good achievement, but also making a point at home against Galatasaray, not bad. On the other hand, Anderlecht should be for sure the better team, as they were able to win all 3 of their games so far. But I don't care in most of the points here, and the odds are not worth to bet on each or the other side. And Hoffenheim against Lyon seems like a sure draw for me, as the Hoffenheim team is kind of on a small streak in the Bundesliga, and Lyon is not really a danger anymore. They are number 6 in the France League and were not able to win 1 out of their last 3 games. The reason why Hoffenheim is not favorite here in their home game might be that they had a really surprising loss against newly promoted team St. Pauli on the last weekend. But I think in this game against a an opponent where they might be 100% concentrated, it's easier kind of for them. Anyway, I won't bet on each or the other side. Again, here a draw with odds of 3.6 might be attractive. Also, a bet on the away team with Asian Handicap 0 is an option, but both is nothing I want to do now. As there are a lot of games, you can't always have an opinion on every game, so I only select the best odds and the best picks, and where I don't like the odds, I just step away and don't waste my time. And this is the same one. I don't want to waste our time with this last game, as there is no interest in betting for me. So I sum up my Ecker and my bets on this match day. And the first one is Asian Handicap 0 on Tottenham at Galatasaray. Also, Asian Handicap 0 on Roma at the Belgian team USG seems to be a good bet for me. I think Ferencváros Budapest is an interesting team and I'm tempted to bet on it, but at the end I won't. So I have two bets on this match day and this is quite good, and I hope you find also interesting bets. Write it down below in the comments, and thanks for watching. Do you want all my betting tips for free in my VIP Telegram group? Then you will find a link in the video description.